Marcel, where are you going with that disc? You are not putting that on again. Marcel, okay, if you press that button, you are in very, very big trouble.
Attention. Everybody stop what you're doing. It's time for The Unwritten Rule, a Mizzou sports podcast brought to you by the Believe Network, alongside Payton Haverman and Kenny Van Doren. Here is your host, Jack Knowlton.
Welcome back to The Unwritten Rule, presented by FanDuel. It's just the Jack and Payton show for your Monday. Kenny is out. He got out of it, Payton. He bailed on us for the Mizzou men's basketball season preview.
I know. I'd said earlier in the week when he said he might have had a conflict, I'm like, you're not getting out of it that easily. But you know what? He weaseled his way out of it, Jack.
He doesn't want to come back or he doesn't want to have any predictions that we make on this show come back to bite him. So he's avoided that. But no, we will have Kenny back for the A&M preview on Friday. But yeah, we figured bye week, let's talk some Missouri men's basketball. They of course play tomorrow, or I guess today when you're watching this, on Monday night against Howard for their first game of the season at Howard, which will be very interesting. They're going to Howard to play the Bison. I've seen this come back to bite teams, Payton, in the past. When I was covering the University of Alabama, they went and played at North Dakota, and that game got very, very hairy for them for a while of it. So hopefully Mizzou can handle a road trip. It is the first game of the season, so on the one hand, you're kind of like it could go even more wrong, but on the other hand, it's also Howard's first game of the season. So I guess we shall see. But some overview, and then we'll dive into it. Just kind of give our thoughts as we start the season here for the men's basketball team. Missouri over on FanDuel, I have a couple odds to tell you with Payton. They have some long shot stuff over there on FanDuel that you can get. They are plus 8,000 to win the NCAA tournament. They're plus 2,500 to win the SEC in the regular season. And you can also bet on Mark Mitchell to be the Wooden Award winner, Payton. They've got him in the list of names. So some stuff over on FanDuel, and I kind of wanted to start with that, with sort of the over-under win things. Missouri, last year, they were, I believe, 22-12, 10-8 in the SEC. They got to the NCAA tournament. They were a 6th seed. They lost, of course, to Drake in the first round. And Payton, when you have thought about this team as you think about it when comparing to last year, and the other thing I actually wanted to check right now, Joe Lunardi has them slated to be an 8 seed in the way too early edition of this bracketology. When you think about that win total with 22, when you think about how the season ended last year, and we're going to talk about some of the guys coming back. What's the over-under win total for you for Missouri in the regular season this year?
Yeah, I hesitate to put it at 22. Again, I'd say more like 20 and a half. Honestly, I think more around the 19 to 21 win range is more attainable and realistic for this team. I think what they have going for them is, I believe the stat is that they return the most percentage of their scoring in the SEC, something like that. Mitchell and Ant are two of the best returners in the SEC. I don't think you can look around the rest of the conference and say many teams are returning that, like two guys of that caliber that were that important to their team. The league is still going to be very good, don't get me wrong, but I do think it'll be a bit down from how crazy and absurdly good it was last year. I don't think we'll see that again. So that works in Missouri's favor a bit. But I do think Missouri has more questions this year coming in to the season that I'm not sure how they quite fill the void left by losing Bates, losing Grill, even a guy off the bench like Warwick. You have a lot of guys. There's a lot of turnover, and they brought in a decent amount of guys, but I think there's still questions. I'd still personally put the over under probably around 20 and a half or something like that personally.
Yeah, I think I'm kind of there with you. I should have said this too before I asked the first question. With the players that you mentioned, this team brings back Anthony Robinson, Tio Barrett, Anar Boateng, Trent Burns, Trent Pierce. They also return Mark Mitchell and Jacob Cruz. They added Luke Northweather from the portal, Jaden Stone from the portal, Nicholas Randall's a freshman, Sebastian Mack, Javon Porter, and Sean Phillips all came in from the portal, and they have Aaron Rowe as well. The long-awaited debut of Aaron Rowe will arrive on November 3rd. Obviously, he's been committed to the team for a while. They obviously lost some key pieces, like you said, in Bates and Grill. I think I'm there with you with the over under and the win total. And this is what I'll ask you on the positive note. What is the thing you're most excited for with this roster? Whether it's one player, someone new. I'll don't talk about the newcomers. I'll ask you your most exciting newcomer. But just overall with this team, what are you most excited to watch with them this season as it unfolds?
My answer's got to be Ant and Mitchell, and kind of how far they can kind of put this team, like just how much they can put this team on their back and carry them. I think for this team to do anything of note, it's going to have to come down to those two being all SEC level players. Mitchell was last year. I think you could argue Ant had stretches where he played like one, but was a bit inconsistent with fouls in particular. It's got to be those two. It's on Ant and Mitchell, who I think the world of both of them. I think Ant in particular, the ceiling on him is so high. I think it comes down to just what you're getting out of those two. A close second for me might be just like who makes that leap on this team that can kind of elevate the ceiling a little bit. Maybe it's Cruz in year 2 under Dennis. Maybe it's Pierce really taking a third year leap and blossoming into just like a unicorn level player. I mean, he's got the size and the length to be so good on both sides of the ball. I just don't think it's clicked for him yet. Or maybe it's Anar Boateng, who played really, really, really well in the exhibition against Kansas State. You know, I don't look at him yet and think, oh, he's going to leap into being an all-conference player, an all-conference defender, or anything like that. But I mean, if you're getting the version of Anar Boateng that you saw in the exhibition, where he doesn't have to be the star, like the go-to guy, but can kind of be like a reliable third option next to Ant, Mitchell, and maybe a couple other guys kind of stepping up to score. I mean, Lord knows Dennis likes to turn over a lineup, so we'll see who it is. But I mean, if it's Anar Boateng, that's one of the few things. I think this is a very high floor team. I don't know how many things elevate its ceiling, but one thing that could definitely elevate the ceiling of this team is what you're getting out of Anar Boateng. Like if he is kind of taking the leap, I think Dennis has called him like the most talented freshman he's ever coached. If that talent kind of manifests itself, that is a big time revelation for Mizzou.
Yeah, I go to Pearson Boateng for me as well in terms of what I'm the most excited about. Maybe the players I'm the most excited about. I think the ceiling stuff that you can get into with Ant in particular is really fun. I think he's going to be playing with a chip on his shoulder too. He's left off of the preseason All SEC teams. Mark Mitchell made it, which I think he deserved, but I was a little surprised to not see him, to not see Ant included with him in that group. But yeah, I agree with you. I think if you can have a guy like Trent Pierce, a guy like Anar Boateng make a leap. Trent Pierce does have such a unique build, and I really think there were some bright moments for him last season. The team as a whole, and I think this has become a theme under Dennis, has kind of struggled with just sort of consistency. It's a lot of, super high highs and very low lows, and I think Trent Pierce has been a little bit of a microcosm of that. So I think I'm with you there. I'd like to see where he can jump to in terms of his ceiling. And then, yeah, you've had these exciting recruiting classes that's supposed to kind of build up, an arsenal, so to speak, for a season like this and even going into next year. And you've had guys that don't leave. I think the retention piece is such a super underrated part of what Mizzou has built as a program. I mean, you talked about it. This is not a league or a sport, frankly, anymore, that guys don't stay 2, 3, 4 years at the same place. And I think the fact Missouri has held on to a lot of these players. Someone like Ant's a great example of that. Is I think a testament to Dennis. But I think now you got to see the leaps jump on the court. I'll ask you about the exhibition game. You obviously watched it. I haven't had the chance to go rewatch it back. Was there one player or anything that jumped out to you, good or bad, I guess I'll say, in this team's, obviously it's an exhibition, but the first chance you got to watch them?
I thought a lot of guys looked really well. I mentioned Honor, I thought was someone I was maybe the most encouraged by. I thought Mitchell didn't play much. He had a really good first shift. Kind of didn't play that much after that. And then obviously the wrist thing, Dennis wasn't going to let him play another second. After he kind of had that hard fall to the floor at the end of the first half. Ant looked fantastic. Another guy that really jumped out to me, and there were a couple more I can mention. I got to shout out Sean Phillips, though. It's been like the thing when you talk about like Dennis's tenure, a few things come up on the negative side pretty consistently. The defense and rebounding has been up and down. The constant rotations get on people's nerves. But a big thing, and it kind of goes hand in hand with the bad defense and rebounding, is just the lack of like a true like difference making big man, or not even just a difference maker, just like a consistent like 7-footer down in the paint. They haven't had that much under Gates. I think we were pretty nice and pretty big fans of what we saw from Josh Gray for a lot of the year. I think Josh Gray did some good things, but Sean Phillips, I mean, it was kind of night and day watching just how much more coordinated and just in control of himself he looked on the offensive end in particular. Very much the pick and roll stuff seems to be as advertised. That was a big thing, that he was a PNR monster at Arizona State. Definitely looked to be the case there. Just looked like a legit difference maker on offense. He had a double-double in about 20 minutes of playtime. So Sean Phillips, he could kind of be, I think he's got, the competition isn't too stiff, but he could very easily be the best big man Dennis Gates has had here, like the best true center. I thought he looked very, very good in the exhibition game against Kansas State.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of good things about it. I think we even brought it up in Quick Hits the week when Fran Fischello was visiting Mizzou, and he like shouted out Sean Phillips and pointed out his height and range. And yeah, Josh Gray, for what he was, I think Payton, you and I texted about it a ton. Like when this team, when they would have Josh Gray out on the perimeter with no one to help him, and he'd pick up his dribble, and we were like, "What's happening? Why is this occurring?" So it's about how they use Sean Phillips too. But I think it's going to be easier to use a guy like him with all the stuff you said, like the versatility he brings and all that stuff. And so I'm excited about him too. I'll go a newcomer too. I am really curious to see what Jaden Stone is going to bring. He has to make quite the leap. The biggest thing, frankly, Payton, right, will be if he can stay healthy. I mean, this is a guy who just has not strung a ton of good seasons together at the mid-major level. 15 games with Grand Canyon in each of his first 2 seasons, 13 with Detroit Mercy in 2022. He played 26 games. He finally broke through last year and then missed the entire season in 2024 when he was supposed to go to West Virginia. So he does kind of still lack the high major experience, but he's a guy who I think I'm kind of intrigued by. I'm curious how maybe his 3-point shooting numbers can average out. He was 51.9% in those 13 games in 2022, and then 31 on 7 attempts in 2023-24. And I think like this, I think you and I both can probably agree the biggest concern for this team is how you're going to replace a guy like Tamar Bates, and then frankly how you're going to replace a guy like Caleb Grill with what he brought with the shooting. And so I think Jaden Stone's going to have to be a part of that. And but just with the experience he has, he's a vet. I'm excited to see what Missouri has with him. I'm not keeping my expectations super high, and frankly, I just hope he can stay healthy. But he's one I turn to for maybe a newcomer if you have another one along with Sean Phillips.
Yeah, and I mean Stone was another guy. I hate to just keep like bringing up the exhibition, but it's really the only thing we have to go off right now. Stone was another guy that I thought looked really good in the exhibition. Like, I think he is really kind of that the most. I think it's asking a lot for him to step up and be a Bates or a Grill, but I think he's really the true wild card of this roster. He was the last addition to the team. I mean, it kind of seemed like he thought he might have been done after not getting to play at West Virginia due to an injury. He got a slow start, but I mean, again, he hadn't played a game since playing for Detroit Mercy in 2024. Like in the 23-24 season, he has maybe as good an offensive game as anyone on the roster. Very, very much seemed like he had a deep bag of tools he can break out at any time. So he hit a 3 or 2, looked pretty confident driving to the lane. I was impressed by him. Other newcomers I'd bring up, I mean, I brought up Phillips. I think he's got to be kind of the guy. Mac had some nice moments in that. Mac had nice moments in that exhibition. Definitely seems to be like have good instincts. Like on the defensive end, he seemed to always be in good position for a transition bucket when Mizzou would force a turnover. And we know how Dennis Gates likes to play defense here, so that seems to fit like a glove for Sebastian Mack if he's got good IQ on when to kind of leak back into the backcourt and just kind of maybe steal a transition bucket or so. The other guys, I mean, Javon Porter, he was kind of a bigger deal. He didn't do much in the exhibition, I thought. It remains to be seen. I mean, this team can, whenever it chooses, even with like, there's a lot of different mix and matches they can do to be a very tall and very long team.
And they will because it's Dennis Gates.
It's Dennis Gates, and I think that's his dream.
Yeah, I'm with you with I mean, Mac, it feels like everyone has just been penciling him into the Tony Perkins role, and I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing if people are already seeing that his skill set can sort of match what Perkins brought. I mean, Perkins was a huge boost in some certain situations, and anything more that Mac gives on top of that, I think will be great. So I'm with you with him. Yeah, Porter, he was a guy, the kind of underlying numbers, we've both looked at him, and Ken Pom and Torvik don't paint him the best and kind of paint him as a guy who's not super strong in one kind of area, but is decent in a few. And I'm curious to see what his role ends up being with like you said, how Dennis chooses to use him, how he mixes and matches him with other guys on the floor to kind of maximize what he can bring. Because I do think there is something there, but that's also another guy who is going to have to transition to the high major level. I touched on it. I think you and I will probably be on the same page here with the 3-point shooting, the replacing Bates. What is your biggest concern for this team going into the year that they can underperform where they were at last year, especially when they were at their peak?
Yeah, it's the 3-point shooting. They didn't shoot it at a particularly great clip in the exhibition even. Somebody's going to have to step up. I think the most obvious candidate is Cruz. I mean, Dennis Gates had the thing where he challenged him to make 100 3-pointers this year. What
was the stat we were given when Caleb Grill made like 89 last year, I think?
Yeah, and like he challenged Caleb to just an absurd number 2. So I think they're kind of hoping it's Cruz. I will remain skeptical on that point until I see it. He had a couple really nice stretches last year, but I think by and large it wasn't very, very consistent and very good even. I mean, Ant has been a good 3-point shooter. He was great last year, but obviously when you're the on-ball point guard, which is what he's going to be, stop trying to make these weird lineups where Ant is off the ball for T.O. Barrett to be the point guard. That's not going to happen.
You haven't been watching Dennis Gates long enough, my friend.
It's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. It won't happen. There will be lineups where it happens, but it won't happen often. I think Pierce is a candidate for that. Honor is a bit of a wild card as well in that regard. Same with Stone. I don't think you can expect someone like Mac to do it. But it's 3-point shooting. I just don't think you have a proven commodity there other than maybe Ant, and Ant's not going to shoot it at a high volume, nor should he, I don't think. So somebody's going to have to step up and kind of take a step forward from beyond the arc. I think if that does not happen, it's just going to be a case where Missouri's going to have to find different ways to win.
Yeah, and with how fast they play and how many shots they get up, like it it has the potential to get really ugly if that isn't figured out kind of collectively. And I don't know. I don't love it either. I think that was the kind of clear and obvious thing that they didn't really address in the portal. They didn't bring in any sort of specialist like Grill ended up turning into when he was there last year. And I don't think you were ever going to fully replace the output that he gave from beyond the arc. I don't think you're ever going to replace with one guy what Bates brought you. I think those guys are really talented players. They're good specialists. They, that was always going to be difficult. But yeah, this team, and it's funny when it brings me to like the kind of the national perception of it is people are really high on Missouri. I think the continuity stuff is big, but there are some obvious question marks that I think on offense that are gonna have to be answered, or this team will not hit the ceiling that I think people are projecting. And in fairness, with the SEC, they are kind of viewed as like they're a little bit all over the place. Like I've seen someone put them as high as 6th. I've seen as low as like 16th. I mean, it's sort of a mess.
Nobody put them last, did they?
So I say 6. Maybe it was like 13th or 14th. I don't know. It was low. It was low.
I'm with you there. But that, I mean, it is going to kind of, like I said, I think it's a high floor team. I think it's a team that at the very least will be on the bubble this year. At its very best is maybe a team that could, if it gets a good draw and just has the cards fall right, make the Sweet 16. That's like, I think, the 99th percentile. I think the more likely scenario is just a one and done tournament team. But we'll see. I mean, there's so many things we have to see happen before you can really put a firm like expectation on this team.
I think the floor is high as well. I think there's really, I've been one of the louder advocates of this. I think there's really something to be said to having, there was like, I brought up the stat a bunch of times. There was like 6, 7, 8 guys from all of the all conference teams, freshman defense, and the first and second teams that actually came back to their teams, and Missouri had 2 of those. And I think that is a big deal. I think that will be big for their core. So let's do it, Payton. Predictions, record, SEC record. What do they finish? What seed in the tournament do they get, and how far do they go?
Okay, so I want to make sure I have the exact number of games right. Do you have Torvik pulled up? How many games do they have?
I didn't fill that out either. I can pull it up. Stall for me.
I know they still play 18 conference games, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think there's been a change to that yet. So I'm going to go.
They play 31 games.
31 games. So that's a few less than last. Or well, they had the tournaments as well. So that's
Torvik,
the same
by the
number
way, has them at 21-10 and 10-8.
Yeah, that's a good number. I'm gonna say 20-11 regular season. It's kind of interesting because I mean, you look at the non-con, you're kind of really hoping for at least 11-2 going into conference play. With I think you really would hope that they can beat both of Minnesota and Notre Dame and split Kansas and Illinois. That's probably the most optimistic you can get, and that would be 12-1. I think it is going into league play. So I'm gonna go ahead and say 20-11. I'll say so if I'm picking 20-11.
30. Yeah, 31 games. Sorry, I thought I read it wrong.
Yeah, I'm gonna say 9-9 in conference play, and they go 11-2 in non-con.
That's a good number. Gosh, I want to be optimistic because I think you're right. I think that the non-con's actually really doable, and I'm not going to throw out a result against Kansas. It obviously sucks that it's not at home this time around. I've got some thoughts about what Kansas could be this year. I do think it's exciting. Like there's a world where it's an Ant Robinson draft stock boost game because he's going to have to guard Darren Peterson, who's maybe going to be the best player in the country.
And I will say, I mean, like, obviously Darren Peterson, elite prospect. But if you're hoping for anything, you're hoping Ant gets to play a lot of younger guards. Because I mean, he's a pest on defense, and that frustrates guys.
It's weird saying we hope Ant plays younger guards just because you've watched this career kind of unfold, and now he's on the technically back half of it. I will go for and what'd you say they finished in the SEC? Where do you think that puts them?
I said
9-9?
9-9 in the SEC, 11-2 in non-con,
So then they'd finish roughly
20
kind
and
of right in the
11.
middle. I will go. I'm gonna go 19 wins, I think, and also 9-9 in the SEC. I think that's.
So you think they're going to lose 3 of Minnesota?
Oh, that would be actually. Then I'll flip that. I'll go 8-10 in the SEC. They'll lose.
Okay,
They'll lose a little
that's
bit more
fair.
in conference because I think you're right. I think the non-con is a lot more doable. Maybe they sneak into the tournament right at that 10 seed line. Maybe get a good draw and win a game. On the bubble with that record, we shall see. We shall see. What spot do you think Missouri would finish in the SEC with your 9-9 record, and who wins it? I was curious to ask you that too. In the regular season, I guess.
Wins it. It's hard to pick against Florida again because they actually do return a decent amount, and they got Fland out of the portal after it looked like he might be going to the draft. Kentucky's really good this year. Arkansas is good. I think it's probably one of those 3.
I'll give you the top 5 in FanDuel. Florida's plus 230, Kentucky plus 420, Alabama is plus 650, Arkansas is also plus 650, Tennessee is plus 900, and then Auburn is 1800 there. So
I'm lower on Tennessee this year. I think Missouri's probably on the 8-9 line in the SEC with 9-9, maybe 7, depending on how the rest of the league looks. I think they're in the 7 to 10 range, though. I'll say 9, just because I think it's really negligible. I'll say Kentucky wins the SEC this year.
Okay.
I kind of believe in the substance there. I think that's a good year for Missouri. Next year, I think, is the year you start having to elevate expectations. I think as long as you just kind of keep the ship straight this year, just don't fall off the rails here this year. I think that's a good year.
I'll go 10 to the SEC and they sneak into the tournament. I'm with you. With Kentucky. I really like this Kentucky team. I am, as you know, I think more skeptical than most about Florida's backcourt. I think Alabama lost a lot and has to figure that out. But I think it's going to be either Kentucky or Alabama. They've got the pick for me. I think Kentucky, they brought in the right dudes to fix that defense stuff. And I think if they can do that, I think if they do that and those guys find their roles quickly, I think that's a team they're still going to be really good at offense. They got Otega Owe, who is maybe one of the best players in the country.
Mm-hmm. I mean, they got like Denzel Aberdeen.
Aberdeen was a good addition.
Mm-hmm.
Jasper Johnson.
Jasper Johnson. That was a name Missouri fans might be a little familiar with.
Yeah.
Jaden Quintance, another guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they
injured, but I think he's coming back.
Yeah. I mean, like Florida, like you mentioned, they have to. And by the way, Missouri opens SEC play with Florida at home and then at Kentucky.
Brutal.
Brutal stretch. I mean, Florida. I mean, their backcourt. You'd have to be very sure you like Xavier Lee. They do have Fland coming in as well, so that's a plus for them. But it's certainly not. I mean, they brought back Condon and Hawk, if I'm not right.
They have Condon, Hawk, and Shinyalu all back, and so but they're going to have to transition because they ran a 3-man backcourt last year with Richard, Martin, and Clayton, and they're going to have to shift to 2. And I think that learning curve will be a little bit of a thing, but they do like have the guys to make another run at a national title for sure. But I'm going to go Kentucky.
I'm going to stick with Kentucky as well. They got Micah Handglockton too. I always forget about him.
Also a Missouri link at one point.
Yeah.
So there you go.
I still feel good.
And they got the 7'9" French guy.
Right. Yeah. Oliver Rue. I assume
will he play?
Pronounced. Let's hope not. I don't want to see that.
It was why I watched him warm up in person once. That was wild.
Yeah. If I had to pick my top 3 right now, I'd probably go. I'd go Kentucky, Florida, Arkansas, probably for the top 3.
Okay.
Pains me to throw Arkansas in that mix, but I think this is a year Tennessee has to kind of retool a bit. Finally, they lost so much of that core. Ament is probably going to be great. They did get Gillespie, who was dynamic at Belmont, but I still feel like that's probably a team that has to take a year. I mean, they lost their entire core.
Right. No, I'm in agreement. I have a hot take top 4 for you. I have Kentucky, Alabama, Florida, and Vanderbilt. I think Vanderbilt's gonna be really good.
I'm not there. I'm not to the top 4 with Vanderbilt, but I think people are overlooking Vanderbilt so much. I think Vanderbilt is a bona fide tournament team this year. Pushes for a 6 seed around that range or so.
Yeah. I think they're really good. I am always going to be I'm a Mark Byington believer. He's great. One of the best coaches I think in the league.
McLaughlin's
so we'll see. All right.
One of the better players in the conference, I think. So
yeah. Yes. All right, there you go. There's a little kind of flash preview for Missouri men's basketball. I'm going to talk about the league a little bit too. It's going to be a really intriguing year, I think, for the SEC and for Mizzou, and I think for across the entire country, because there's a large bevy of. You're going to make me solo for this, all right? Yeah. There's a bevy of, you know what? 2 can play at that game, huh? There you're back. There's a bevy of national championship contenders, I think, and that's also going to be really fun. And you and I and Kenny as well. You know, we're all big college basketball guys, so I think it'll be exciting. But there you go, Missouri men's basketball preview. They start on Monday against Howard. We'll see how they do against the Bison, and we will see how we do in the quiz without Kenny on the other side with quick hits. Okay, quick hits time. We'll finish off the show. I'm prepared to join on my phone in the event that my computer dies. So, otherwise, we'll see if we can get it done before it does. The professional podcast we have here. All right, Payton. Kenny's not here, which means we have the Daily Dozen trivia, but it's just us two. So it's going to be rough. Are you ready?
Yes. All right, Daily Dozen trivia, NFL. Since 2016, what NFC team has totaled the least amount of regular season wins?
Ooh.
Could be the Bears.
NFC?
Could be the Bears.
Maybe the Bears. Maybe the Giants.
It's not going to be an NFC South. It could be the Giants. I think it's the Giants. We're going with the Giants.
They do have that one playoff year.
Nope. I think it's them. Yep.
Wow. There we go. Ding, ding. All right. We're off to a good start.
NBA. Joe Johnson made his 7th and final career All-Star team in 2014 while playing for this Eastern Conference team. Is this the Hawks?
And so Joe, in 2014, was he with Brooklyn yet? I don't think he made an All-Star team with Brooklyn. The Hawks are a safe guess.
Okay. I think if we get this wrong, we'll guess Nets. It's wrong.
Okay.
Yoshinobu Yamamoto became the first pitcher to win 3 games in a single World Series since this Hall of Famer in 2001. Believe this is the big unit, Randy Johnson.
Oh,
because that would have been the.
You unplugged your mic. He unplugged his mic, explaining his thing. He's muted. He's muted. All right, good explanation of Randy Johnson's career, Payton. On to the next.
Yeah, it was with the Diamondbacks. Anyways, retail and shopping. A collab with American Eagle. True Colors is a fashion label that was founded by this active NFL player. I have no idea. Do you?
Oh, no.
Let's go Steve Largent.
I like it. Seahawks legend Steve Largent.
Celebrity mashup. That looks like Russell Crowe back there, doesn't it?
Kinda. The face looks familiar.
I don't know who the face is. Any idea?
I had thought about McConaughey too, but
that might be it. Let's do that. McCon. Okay.
There you go.
And let's go. Who's the guy that plays Magneto? If Kenny was here, he'd know. I don't think that's the answer either, but it's my best guess. Can you Google who played Magneto quick?
Yes, I'll type it in.
Thank you. Because that's my only guess.
Who played Magneto? Eric Lenscher? Oh, wait, that's the character's name. Sorry. Michael Fassbender.
No, that's young Magneto, old Magneto.
Oh, Ian McKellen.
McKellen, thank you.
It's two mix. MCK.
Yeah, okay, thank you. All right, got it wrong.
All
We
that
did
for
get
nothing.
Matthew McConaughey,
Oh,
but
we
it
did
was
get
not
Matthew
Ian McKellen.
Okay.
So good job talking me into that. Snacks and candy. Popular in the 1990s, pizzerias' pizza chips were a product from this snack brand more commonly associated with sweet treats. Any idea?
Oh, pizza chips.
Never heard of these.
Maybe Hostess? Doubt it, but
No. Wait, maybe. Let's just do it because I have
just
no
know they make
idea.
a lot of things. Okay.
Not it.
We are
Television.
off the rails.
Janet Hubert Witten and Daphne Maxwell Reed each played Vivian Banks, aka Aunt Viv, in this NBC sitcom that ran from 1990 to 96. What is it?
Come on.
I have no idea.
It's
not Friends.
West,
is it Full House?
Philadelphia, born and raised.
Oh, okay.
Isn't Aunt Viv I thought Aunt Viv was from Fresh Prince.
Yeah, I think you're right. Well, that maybe. I haven't seen much of that.
I could be very wrong. Fresh Prince Bel-Air is a great show.
You were right.
Yes.
Movies. Quentin Tarantino directed this 2015 Western that starred Samuel L. Jackson, Kurt Russell, Walton Goggins, Jennifer Jason Leigh, and Channing Tatum. I do know the answer to this. Do you?
I also know the answer.
Yeah, it's Hateful Eight.
It is. Good movie.
Saw that movie for the first time this year. I liked it.
Grow up your second gun. Channing Tatum's in the basement. Yeah. Spoiler.
No way.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
While his sister was known for songs like Unwritten and Pocketful. This singer had an early 2000s hit, Gotta Get Through This, and If You're Not the One. So it's Bedingfield. And he would be Daniel because he's
nice. Good process of elimination there. You cooked.
Let's double dip on the NBA.
Just try Brooklyn. It's got to be Brooklyn.
Nets. Yeah. Okay, we got that. So we wound up getting the middle three wrong. Let's view the correct ones real quick. Travis Kelce apparently started a fashion label. I didn't know that. The other guy was Dustin Hoffman. Okay, I actually could have gotten there.
Yeah.
Keebler. Okay.
Keebler. Oh, I feel like I've seen those.
Yeah, I kind of feel like I did too, but
there you go.
You know what? I'm okay with that effort, Jack. I think we did okay.
Yeah. Indeed. I think we did too. I think we did fine. All right. We got Tigers in the Wild. How about you talk about Kenny's Tiger in the Wild?
Yeah, Ryan Wingo had a 75-yard touchdown catch and run on a swing pass on the first play from scrimmage, I believe, against Vanderbilt for Texas. Whatever. Moving on. Next, Texas
won too, which I'm frustrated.
Texas is going to make the playoff probably. Just
okay. Your Tiger in the Wild. I don't want to talk about that either.
My Tiger in the Wild is going to be Max Scherzer at 41. This tweet is from SportsCenter, or sorry, this post on X, the everything app. It all happens on X. At 41 years old, it's from SportsCenter. At 41 years old, Max Scherzer delivered in Game 7 versus the Dodgers. 4 1/3 innings pitched, 1 earned run, 3 strikeouts, left everything on the mound for his team. Yeah, Max Scherzer was the Game 7 starter. He pitched pretty damn well. In one of the best baseball games I have simply ever seen. Blue Jays blew it in the 9th, had so many opportunities to win this game and just did not. It was a heartbreaker, but what a great series, what a great game, and what a great performance from Max Scherzer.
Yeah, it was really, really fun to watch. I feel very bad for the Blue Jays and their fans, but yeah, shout out to Max Scherzer going out on a high. For himself and individually, even if they didn't get the win. Yeah, crazy game, Payton. Crazy game. The Dodgers, the pay-to-win team. They're your champs. They're your champs.
They are.
We can have a lockout in 2027.
Tough ending.
We can have a lockout in 2027 now.
That's not for me to speculate on. Moving on, we'll go to your best or your Tiger in the Wild, I guess.
My Tiger in the Wild is going to be the students of Mizzou because guess what? They have more construction things to look at. That's right, folks. The construction updates are back. The week of October 27th, Payton, the Rock M Club slab on grade poured, which allows the start of columns and roof steel. Area C concourse has been fine graded and will receive concrete soon. Area A high roof is well over halfway complete. And the precast in North Area A is complete outside of Stair 1. Riveting.
I'm glad they got the precast in North Area A complete.
Yeah.
I was holding my breath on that one, so
Yeah,
that's good.
I was nervous
Glad
that
they
wouldn't
got
get
that done.
I heard the concrete. The concrete, there could have been some trouble, but they got it done.
This thing is going to look so ridiculously good when it's done, though.
It is.
Jeez.
It is. I do this as a bit, but it is actually going to be a fantastic addition. But I love the construction. Look at that first sentence, man. Rock M slab on grade poured, which allows the start of columns and roof steel. I don't know what any of that is. I don't know what aside from Rock M, I know what the Rock M is.
If we got any construction fans listening or just construction experts, let us know what that means.
Yeah.
Put in the live cam is still available. So
the week prior, they began the architectural precast on Stair 2. Huge.
They sure did, Jack. What's next?
That's next. It's huge. All right, let's go to headlines. Kenny, he asked for a headline to be assigned. So I thought we could talk about some national college football. ESPN put out the projecting the college football playoff top 12 after week 10. I believe, Payton, I did this in part because I think it comes out this week, if I'm not mistaken. I think Tuesday's the first one. Maybe it's next week. I forgot to look that up.
You're right. I think it is.
We have technology. Hold on. When does?
Yes. On Tuesday night, it says in this article from Heather Dinich.
There you go.
I'm probably butchering that. I'm so sorry, Heather.
Tuesday night. So Tuesday night it comes out. So I thought, could talk about it. It's a bummer. Missouri, obviously, not in here, but ESPN's projections. Heather Dinich, who wrote the story, had Ohio State, Indiana, Alabama, and Texas A&M as the top 4. And then the first round campus games, Memphis at Georgia, Virginia at Ole Miss, Notre Dame at BYU. That'd be a really fun game. Texas Tech at Oregon, which should also be a good uniform game. But CFP,
there's so much flux still, but I mean, can't really argue any of this right now, I guess.
Texas going in, that was a big win they got against Vanderbilt. It'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see what the committee puts out, how many SEC teams are in there, where Missouri will be ranked. Obviously, that's the poll we'll start referring to after the first one comes out.
Going to be a very, it kind of isn't important. Missouri needs to win out to even give itself a chance, but
yeah. There you go.
Anyways,
all right. Speaking of the other poll,
let's keep with the polls. This will be the last time probably we talk about this. The AP top 25. This week, Missouri did not move up at all. They did not move down either. They stayed at 19.
Won the bye week.
On a bye week. So fair enough, I guess. A lot of movement. Miami might, honest to God, be eliminated at this point. They're 6-2. They lost to SMU. They fell 8 spots. Georgia Tech got upset by NC State. They're down 8 spots. Georgia Tech might be in a position where they have to win the ACC now to make it, because I presume most of us expect them to lose to Georgia. Vanderbilt fell 6 spots. Texas is all the way up to 13. Oklahoma got a big win. They're at 11 after they beat Tennessee. Tennessee is all but done now at 6-3. Cincinnati got romped by Utah. They fell 8 spots. Nothing really shocking. A&M is still number 3, so that'll be who Missouri has a chance to kind of get back into the conversation with this weekend.
Yeah, some crazy results. Oklahoma looks scary from a Missouri standpoint when that game comes around.
I was never that high on Tennessee, I'll be honest. But
it's fair. Exciting stuff. We'll see when Missouri gets ranked the first CFP poll. My headline of the week comes from ESPN. Stick on the college football train. Auburn fires football coach Hugh Freeze after 2+ seasons. That's right, folks. After it was potentially somewhat forecasted to us by Adam Cole, our great guest who previewed the Auburn game with us. It has gone off the rails at Auburn, and Hugh Freeze is gone. $15.8 million buyout, Payton. So get paid a lot of money to not coach. So if you feel bad for Hugh Freeze,
That's one of the more manageable ones too.
Yeah. Actually, you're not wrong. But yeah, if you feel bad for Hugh Freeze, just know that 15-19 and 2+ seasons at Auburn, and as it should, it was the nail in the coffin was losing to Kentucky. Can't do that thing. Can't do it.
Yeah, lost 10-3. By the way, DJ Durkin is the interim. That's
Wild.
what I'll leave it at. It never felt like it was going to work at any point for Hugh Freeze. He was putting up great recruiting classes, but he was losing. I mean, it mentions here in the article even he lost games to New Mexico State at home, lost to Cal at home, and that wasn't a good Cal team he lost to. It wasn't this year's Cal. That's half decent.
Yeah.
Lost to Mississippi State. I don't even remember that game. That must have been the first year. It was brutal. I mean, they never once. I mean, Hugh Freeze was billed as some offensive quarterback guru. They never once felt like they had a quarterback worth a thing. I mean, Arnold has been a mess. Payton Thorne was a mess. Ashton Daniels scored 3 points against Kentucky. I don't even remember who else they've really started. I know Hank Brown and Walker White were guys in the mix for them at some point or another too.
They have a good freshman too, I think, that they recruited.
Deuce Knight, but I mean, they didn't even give him a chance this year. I mean, they got Eric Singleton out of the portal. He's not done really much. Cam Coleman is supremely talented. Haven't been able to do enough with him. Perry Thompson. There's so much talent that they assemble, and they have
absolutely. The running back's good.
Yeah, I mean, and it never felt like they ever really clicked. I mean, he was 6-16 against the SEC. It's a shame because Auburn is a very cool place to see when they're good. Jordan Hare is unbelievable. It's a program that's been reeled down for a bit now.
Yeah, I was going to say they have a stat in here. Freeze ends his run without recording a winning season in 3 tries. The Tigers last had a winning season in 2020 when they were 6-5. And they've only won 8 games twice in 2017 and 2019 since they were in the national championship in 2013.
I mean, this is a job that obviously Drink's going to get tied to just because he has ties there, and Drink's going to be on every list. I will say Drink's Drink's quote after this game, like about wanting to show that place, like after they beat Auburn, like wanting to show that place that they were good enough to coach there or whatever. It was kind of interesting. That makes me a little less confident about in him taking that job, but that's not something I'm going to even worry about until December.
Yeah. I have to get through the season. Obviously no decisions are going to be solidified until then. So
yeah,
it'll be interesting, but yeah, another job open too. It feels like a record amount of jobs at this point. With Auburn, Florida, Penn State, Florida State, maybe.
We'll see. It's going to be probably the craziest, carousel we've ever had.
Maybe Clemson. Maybe they fired down.
Nah, I doubt that one.
No,
but
all right. You were crafting a joke before the show. What have you got?
Oh, I wasn't crafting a joke. I found a joke from our favorite TV series, The Today Show. This one comes from our favorite TV series, The Today Show, Jack.
Mm-hmm.
Dogs can't operate MRI machines, but you know what can?
Dogs can't operate MRI machines. Do I know what can? MRI. I don't know. What can?
Dogs can't operate MRI machines, but cats can.
Yeah. Cats can.
Isn't that good?
That was a good one. Al was cooking there. There. All right, there you go. There's some Mizzou men's basketball talk, a bunch of college football stuff for you as well to wrap up the bye week. Now we go right back into stress mode, looking ahead toward Matt Zollers against the probably top 4 in the country, Texas A&M Aggies, which will be very fun to preview. So stay tuned for that. We'll be back, all 3 of us, on Friday. Until then, stay frosty.